Took some time to clinch that result, but so you got there, 12 unbeaten now.
Yes, fantastic result. We dug deep. You know, coming here is never an easy place to come and get 3 points, and you know we did that today. 1-0 for a very long time, and they created a few chances, and so did we. But we defended well when we got the second goal.
It's actually quite one-sided, particularly in that first half. Was that the message after the international duty to make that quick start?
Yeah, we know we ended well, and you know we didn't let the international break distract us. We had to come out all guns blazing, and that's what we did today. And you know, like I said, it was a massive 3 points.
A little bit uneasy at the fact that you dominated that first half, but you couldn't kill the game off at all.
Yeah, them games are tricky, always tricky. When you're 1-0 up and you know you can't get that second goal, and you know they're creating a few chances. It's very easy to drop your head and lose confidence, but we didn't do that. We kept our confidence and kept going.
Yeah, there were a few surprises there, a few misses and a few misplaced passes that you could have killed it off, but you did it in the end. At third match running you've scored, so decent service you're getting as well, I should think, from these players.
Yeah, you know, we knew we're quick on counter-attack, so I had to get myself forward, and you know I was tired, but I had to stay in control and pass it through the keeper, and that's what I've done, and killed the game off, thankfully.
And you've moved to the top of the table. There's no harm in that right now, is there?
No pressure. No. Obviously, that's where we want to be, and just keep getting the 3 points, and hopefully we'll stay up there.
He's now scored in 3 consecutive appearances for Chelsea's Tammy Abraham. He's got 5 in all competitions. Is he making himself undroppable right now, Owen?
Undroppable. Timo Werner's undroppable, but I think he's making himself a really good squad player, and I think we got 15 last season. I don't think he gets enough credit for his overall game. I love the fact his size, and technically I think he's better than people give him credit for, and he's getting goals. But I think when Frank gets his best team nailed down, it'll be Ziyech on one side, Pulisic on the other, and then Werner through the middle, Havertz and Mount. I think that's going to be his best team. Kante, I thought, was brilliant again today. But Tammy is really important as a squad player for Chelsea.
I think as well, Manish, Tammy now knows, Owen, he's got to get numbers. He's got to have goals. I think when you're a young player coming into to any team, particularly a big club, you want to make sure you're part of the team. You want to perform your role, your duty for the team. Now, as a striker, there's a time when you cross over into I need goals. Unless I score goals, I can't worry about what the boys do at the back. I can't worry about everything else for the team.
Yeah.
I've got to make sure I produce and I get goals. And I think he now realises to stay right at the focal point of Chelsea's attack, he's got to get his numbers, and he's doing it very well at the moment.
If you compare that performance and result to the same fixture last season when Chelsea lost it in the dying moments, does that show us in a nutshell how far Chelsea have come in that time? It
shows you how far Chelsea have come and how far Newcastle have come as well. I think because Newcastle today are very disappointed. The attitude, the mindset from the off was negative, and it went exactly, I think, as we kind of predicted today, that they weren't going to get anything out of it. But Chelsea they're going to be dangerous. They have got so many good options in those forward positions. If you think about any team when you're struggling in the Premier League, if you're thinking, normally when you're struggling, we can't score a goal. We haven't got enough pace in the forward areas. We haven't got attacking options. Chelsea have got it everywhere.
Yeah.
Even fullbacks flying into the last third. So it's just about now Frank kind of keeping them happy as best he can, and letting them go and strut their stuff. They're very good.
Let's have a look back at Chelsea's second goal, which Abraham scored. But what about Timo Werner's role in it, considering he missed a few chances before?
Yeah, but I think the amount of chances, he creates. I mean, look, that's what he gives you. He works so hard. He's pressing. They're just being too unselfish. Just shoot yourself. I think when you see he's annoyed with himself that he is trying to square it because he realises he's got to shoot. But this is what he gives you that not many players have. Just this raw pace, Andy. I mean, honestly, I know Newcastle's got to foul him or do something, but wow. I mean, that is brilliant.
He's already running quickly, so he's already going fast now. But to go through the gate there, he's really motoring, and that is sensational play.
That part of his game's improved, Andy.
Right.
The final pass, the quality of it. You often see players when they travel that far, they get tired, don't they?
Yeah.
And play a poor pass, but
is that his best position, Owen? Definitely off one side.
Well, he developed under Julian Nagelsmann. Before he was just a number 9, and then he played played attackers and he drifted in. And I think his overall game improved because they dominated so many games in terms of possession, like under Frank. And I think with Tammy in there, because of his presence, he gives them a different option. But I think when they get their best team, I think they'll play as a focal point off the top with 2 fabulous wingers, and I think Frank's got, as Andy said, some great options.
As for Chelsea's opening goal, while it came off the shin or whichever part of Federico Fernandez's body it was at the time, what about the build-up to it?
Clever set piece that's been well drilled, well rehearsed. Any set play that's rehearsed still needs quality in the final ball. But you can see here they've got 3 on 2, so now it's about utilising it correctly. You'll see the offside line appear there on the back of Longstaff. So Mason Mount, bottom right of the screen, has got to get the other side of that line. Now he's onside. Give me the ball at the right time and I'll deliver. I mean, that's really good football. Fernandez should do better in there, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he's got to find a way to clear. But I think credit the coaches for working that out. They realised that there'll be more bodies in the box expecting the cross. So if we can get 3, they'll only push 2 out. Get the ball, that set 3v2, and then that's great coaching. It really is.
And no push on him from behind?
No, he's clutching Fernandez and he's hoping for a push because he puts himself in a bad spot. Really, you can only clear that with your left foot. You don't clear that with your right. If you clear with your right, it's an own goal.
It shouldn't actually travel to the far post, that ball. It's not a cross that stood up to the far post. It's whipped across the 6-yard line.
It's got to go meet it.
Somebody somewhere in there should be getting that before it actually comes to Federico Fernandez. And in the end, as Owen says, he don't sort his feet out and unfortunately prods it in his own net.
So Chelsea have picked up where they left off before the international break, much to the delight, I assume, to their manager, Frank Lampard.
Frank, congratulations. You've extended your run of unbeaten games to 12 now, but if we're going to be ultra-critical, do you think you might have wrapped that one up a bit earlier?
Yeah. It's always smoother on the bench for me and the staff when you do, but it can happen. Listen, I think we played well. It's not an easy game for us coming here against a very organised team. Great to get the early goal. That changes the aspects of it, but the second one was then so important, and we obviously had chances to get that earlier. And even after that, we can maybe score again. But, you know, we can't have it all our own way. If there are days where you are not quite in front of goal, then we put the game away very well, I thought, in our professional performance.
You say you can't have it all your own way, but you pretty much did in the first half. It was around 80% possession. You didn't maximise that and kill the game off.
Yeah, I think we settled into that. I thought the first 20 minutes we were great because we had control and we had penetration. We had people running in behind. We were getting the side and making crosses. I think there's sometimes a danger of that sort of control that becomes comfort, which is dangerous. And we then turned it over a couple of times. So that was the message at half-time. They came out, to be fair, more positive in the second half. And I always felt that the real danger moments for us could be on transition and counter-attack, because Timo showed that 2 or 3 times in the first half, and then obviously he shows that for Tammy's goal.
And is the word complacency applicable here in certain sense, in the fact that you were so dominant, it became easy?
I think it can be human nature and a bit natural, and it's important for a group, as up for us, if we want to get to where we want to be, then you have to work on those moments when you do go ahead, but you don't get complacent, and you keep. As I said, penetration was the big thing to me, of having control but people still wanting to run. It's very easy to think, I'll come short to the ball. It's very easy to think, I'll play the safe pass. We had to keep making those more dangerous passes and the runs and the effort to get in there. And I think to a degree we did. It's not an easy game. I understand the players sometimes can become comfortable. It's little lessons where we can get it better.
And sometimes it's just about getting a result after the international fixtures as well.
Definitely, and we play well. We play well in patches, and the result is key in these games because the Premier League is tough, it's relentless, and after the break where we were playing well and everyone goes in their own directions and comes back, you try and get the message. You have to wake up early this morning and slap yourself and get out of bed and eat your pre-match, and that's fine. I thought they dealt with the challenge of the game very well today for the lads, so I'm very pleased.
But you can have a look at the top of the table and see Chelsea right there. That's going to be quite pleasing, even for a short while.
It's pleasing, but I'm not going to get excited about being top of the table for 5 minutes. I think it's time to stay humble when you go top, and know that it's a long race.
Thanks very much, Frank.
Cheers, thank you.
All really from Frank Lampard. Andy, you just made a great point while we were listening to Frank Lampard. Not many of their players were in top gear today. No. But they still came out comfortable winners.
They didn't. They just had to have a good, solid team performance and then rely on a bit of magic and some real quality from the special players they've got. I think of Ziyech today, not quite. 1 or 2 moments, not quite. Kovacic hardly really had a kick. Reece James and Ben Chilwell didn't have to be marauding for 90 minutes. You know, N'Golo Kante was brilliant. I thought Mason Mount played well, and Timo Werner had a kind of mixed day, but was still a massive threat. And Tammy Abraham was there to provide that all-important second goal. But really and truly, after a tough international break, Manish, that's kind of the perfect opponent and the perfect performance from Chelsea today. They've got through it pretty much unscathed, and I would think with plenty in the tank still.
And after passing that test today, Owen, they've got Tottenham and a certain Jose Mourinho back at the bridge next.
Yeah, I think obviously Frank will be looking forward to these fixtures, and they're tough ones, you know. Tottenham, Leeds United, Everton, you know, all good sides. But I think when Frank gets his best team, his best starting 11, I think he's only really got 13 or 14 players that he thinks can make the difference. And he's going to have to play them quite regularly. I think those days of chopping and changing, I think they got to go. And I think if he settles on this team with Kante at the base of it, with Thiago Silva and that base, those fullbacks, Mount and Havertz to come into the side, Chelsea are going to be right there. But I only see them finishing third at best. But I still think he's got a great group of players in there.